Hi there, my name is Matt Cole, one of the producers of the Sexperts podcast, along with Brian Garrity. Brian's not here right now, so please don't tell him, but I'm actually going to release a second episode this week. It's a very special episode, and I'd like to give a huge thanks to our guest, Mr. James Roach. Me and James were getting drunk the other night at the Push Comedy Theater, and he was like, Matt, I love the Sexperts podcast. However, the only downside is it's only once a week, and it's only 20 minutes. So why don't you just go ahead and, start releasing 2 a week? Guess what, Roachy? I'm doing it. So here you go. And also it's to celebrate the fact that we have reached our 1,000th listen, which may not sound like a whole lot to some people, but it's a huge milestone for us. So we'd like to thank all of our listeners and also all of our guests so far. We've had some very wonderful improvisers. And if you're ever curious about what we look like in real life, why don't you come see us at the Push Comedy Theater? We are even playing in some shows this weekend at the Push Comedy Theater in Norfolk, Virginia. At 8 o'clock, you can catch me and Brian in our short-form team, Hot Dog Adams. So we're going to play a bunch of like Whose Line Is It Anyway type games. And then at 10 p.m. on Friday, for only $5, you can check out my Herald team, which Herald is a long-form improvisation show, as well as James Roach's Herald team. So that's going to be quite a blast. And then the following day at the Push Comedy Theater, you can also see James Roach compete against two other improv teams in the event of the summer, Improv-ageddon. Well, it happens every month, but this one's going to be special because James Roach's team, Forgotten Heroes, is going up against two other teams, and I think they're going to go for like 3 wins in a row, which is very, 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 very special. Get ready for another episode of the all-improvised Sexperts. And intro music, and hi there! Welcome to the Sexperts. I am your host, Dr. John T. Alaniz, CPM.
And I am Delilah Hey there, and don't know how to tell you this, but I planted a mango tree a couple weeks ago, and 3 to 4 months, I will be a mango produce seller.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
How does it feel to be a father?
It's exciting.
Yeah. Well, Delilah and I are here as your Sexperts, and for all our sorry, I never get that word right, pod crashed listeners out there. That was tough. We're coming to you live every week to talk about modern controversial sex topics, ranging from missionary to whatever. I mean, really, I'm coming to you with expertise in the certified professional midwifery field, and you're coming from the botany.
I just, plethora of experience in various trades and skill sets that lead me to be a pretty interesting character.
Absolutely. And so, we're going to bring on our guest in just a little bit, but I want to mention our topic of the day today is shrimpboating. Shrimpboating. Now, the subtitle is Shrimpboating, Teen Fad or Here to Stay. Okay, so we're going to talk all about shrimp boating, what it means to you, what it means to me, what it may mean to your teenagers at home who may be doing shrimp boating without even you knowing about it.
Well, I'll be doing this podcast with my fingers crossed for Here to Stay.
Oh, fingers crossed is actually part of it, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. We'll get into the shrimp boating technique and the do's and don'ts and everything about it. But actually, I want to get to our guest because this is a very interesting guest, that a different kind of guest that we've never had on the show before, and a very interesting perspective. He's here waiting patiently with some creme brulee, it looks like.
If you're multitasking while you're listening to this podcast, stop the other things you're doing, like no ironing, no dishwashing, no treadmilling. Pay attention for the next couple minutes.
Please.
You're not going to want to miss this.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on, Dr. John and Ms. Delilah. My name is, as you know, Richard Fantastic. I had a long-running children's public television show that was Dick Fantastic's Magical Subway. And, it ran from the early 80s, 1981 to be precise, until 2001, where unfortunately the events of 9/11 caused us to cancel the show.
Now, when you say when it ran, was this based on an actual subway, or was that just a magical thing?
Well, I mean, I guess the best way to explain it would be magical realism. When we first began, there were many shows on public broadcasting involving children getting into a vehicle driven by an older man or woman, and the vehicle could time travel. So I just took that and spun that off into a subway.
God, sometimes they say that the most brilliant ideas are just ideas that have already happened, but with a little twist on it.
Yes.
So much of what we surround ourselves with in today's media landscape is just that.
Yeah, like Twitter is just texting with people.
Limitations.
Texting with in public.
Yes.
So I'm actually a huge fan of the show. I have a bunch of questions written down.
I don't think I ever would have learned my lowercase letters without that show.
You were a fan of the show?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, well, we can all chime in on this one. So in episode 195, Troglodoria and Henrietta were venturing into the volcano mountains of Flanglador.
By way of subway.
By way of subway, obviously. They lost the magic ring, but they never recovered it. Whatever happened to that ring?
Well, honestly, we'd never explored this idea again. It was around this time that I made a hard decision.
Yeah.
I made a hard decision involving Henrietta and Troglodyor. We would not be having those characters return. I wanted to take it more from, the magical fantasy realm into more of a exploration of history.
God.
Like the real history of the world. But to answer your question, the ring fell into a volcano and it was destroyed utterly and completely, much like the ending of that fantastic series of films.
Oh my God.
The Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings. You took another brilliant idea and you put your own twist on it and you made it your own. That's incredible.
Amazing.
Wow. God. So what have you been up to now? I know that since 9/11 you've been a changed man.
Well, I mean,
a lot more free time on your hands.
Yes. As you know, we had the infamous episode on 9/12. 9/13, I was out of a job.
The episode too soon? Question mark.
Yes. I've spent many years in solitude.
Yeah.
Replying and or ignoring the various bits of hate mail I've received since the 9/12 episode.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that.
They say that no publicity is bad publicity. But I don't think they've ever walked a mile in my shoes.
Yes, absolutely. God. Speaking of walking a mile in your shoes, we're going to talk a little bit about shrimp boating. Okay,
yes.
Shrimp boating, and you may have seen on the news, and it's something that's kind of sweeping the nation. Yeah.
Wait a cotton.
Wait.
Thicken second.
Yeah.
Episode 176. How did I not get it as a child? That was Forrest Gump.
It was.
Oh my God! Like I just thought, Isabel running. And then by the time she got to Jasperland,
right.
There was like 4,000 other characters running.
And that was just
her.
like Forrest Gump. Talk about Isabel a little bit. You and your show had very strong female characters. What was your inspiration for that?
Well, honestly, I don't ever feel like it was a conscious decision. It was just, it came about very organically. Something that you may have noticed is we recast the children quite often. So
they were all right. I always wondered, like they weren't like Milo and Otis, where the cats just died.
No,
right?
no,
they got new ones.
They were fine. It was just that
I've never seen a Where Are They Now?
To get behind the scenes, I mean, two of the things we were known for on Dick Fantastic's Magical Subway was both hard-hitting historical accuracy.
Yeah.
After the tribute to Mordor episode, and also
in the reenactment of 9/11 on 9/12.
Oh,
please,
God.
let's.
I'm so sorry,
let's,
Delilah. Please, best manners, Delilah.
That's still a sore subject, but I mean we can talk about that. But the other thing we were known for, other than our hard-hitting historical accuracy, was we killed off a lot of main characters in there. I mean, Dick Fantastic was obviously untouchable, but once the children started asking for a better contract or more money or so.
That's it.
That we'd have them die in a historically accurate fashion.
I still have attachment issues that I trace to your show, and I've really not had a meaningful relationship as an adult as a result. But I am looking forward to spending 3 to 4 months with my mango tree.
Talk a little bit about one of my favorite characters, besides obviously Dick Fantastic, was the many puppets who you had on your shows, which were fairly mainstays, probably because they didn't have contracts. You could probably get the puppeteers in and out because they're worth nothing. But let's talk about Chub Chub. There was
yes.
Chub Chub. There was a little controversy whether or not I never thought he looked like a penis, but
you've never seen my penis.
His penis looks like Chub Chub.
Splitting image.
Here's the thing. I think we can all agree that Dick Fantastic's magical subway did a lot of good work in teaching children about history and such. And we did move to puppets at one point. I believe Chub Chub debuted in the episode where we transported ourselves in the subway to pre-Civil War. The American South. We were trying to teach the children about the harsh realities of slavery.
Oh, God.
And I didn't sleep for a week.
Well, the thing about Chub Chub was we had him designed in a...
sort of clansy.
Well... Listen, most of these puppets were designed in a South Korean. I hate to say the modern term, but it's sweatshop. So let's just call it what it was.
Let's just call it a sweatshop.
And the children there didn't. We sent them drawings.
And what came back?
Basically, it
is Chub Chub South Korean for something?
They have. This is crazy. I'm Wikipediaing Chub Chub right now. He actually has his own spin-off Korean show called Chub Chub Sweatshop.
Of horrors.
Now, I am aware of this show, and my lawyers all sent several cease and desist notices. But the thing you must remember is our intentions were good.
If there's one thing South Koreans are afraid of, it's American cease and desist notices.
Listen.
Oh, God.
Anyways, long story short, he was not meant to look like a penis.
Thank you for clearing that up. We got a bunch of emails about that, which is crazy because I think they sent a bunch of emails to us thinking we were you, but I don't know.
2 things I'm going to do with that news. One is I lost a lot of Twitter bets. And 2 is I'm really wondering why my penis looks the way it does.
I mean, certainly. Maybe are your parents South Korean by any chance?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Well,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure the origin of Hey Dare. I'm not sure about that. Let's see. Speaking
of Hey Dare.
Yeah, speaking of Hey Dare. Let's get back to our main topic of the day, which is Shrimpboating, which is a short title today because there's so much to talk about. I don't want to waste any time not talking about shrimpboating because there's so much to talk about in that area. People don't know what it is.
I mean, I did a lot of work trying to explain to young children, mostly between the ages of 5 and 8, what things were. On my show, Dick Fantastic's Magical Subway. For instance, you may remember our World War II episode where we traveled back in time to Nazi Germany and tried to explain to the children just who Adolf Hitler was. I think we did a good job of showing both sides of that conversation.
You did such a good job that I asked my mom once as a 3-year-old, Mommy, what's Hitler? And she wouldn't want to talk about it. She just sat me in front of that episode.
Delilah, I'm sorry to question your mother's parenting skills, but as I said, the show was on the lower end, meant for 8-year-olds, I believe. 5-year-olds.
5-year-olds.
So three may have been a little young for the.
I was already asking mature questions, so I get it.
Oh, well,
I love you, Mom.
Okay.
God, I love so much about the show, and Bill. Are you familiar with Bill Nye?
Oh, yes,
Bill Nye the Science. Did you guys ever? You were contemporaries, so.
Well, I mean, Bill may have seen what I was doing and decided, you know what? Science isn't just for adults. I'm going to get on this child gravy train.
I have always thought that, but he's back with a new show.
I fought him once.
You fought him once?
Fought him
you
once.
Fought him once?
Yes.
What happened there? I mean, obviously you're both still alive, but walk us through that fight.
Well, as you know, Bill is a friend of PBS and public broadcasting in general, and I sometimes feel of myself as being the old guard, as you say. And well, we were at a lunch buffet hosted by PBS at the local Old Country Buffet.
Oh, CB, yeah.
Now,
all you can eat.
Yeah.
I thought there would be items more like what you would find in a traditional London buffet. But unfortunately, it was mostly fried chicken.
Like beans on toast? No,
yes,
you're
beans.
not gonna...
I know that now. Anyways, here I am getting a sad yellow pile of macaroni and cheese on my plate. When Bill comes over and tries to congratulate me.
Yeah.
And I look at Bill and I say, "You know your lane. You know your lane, Bill. Don't talk to me of the children or my history."
Oh, God.
Or anything. And he got rather fisty.
So walk us through. Who threw the first punch?
Well, Bill says, "I will speak of the children if I like." And I said, "Don't you bring your brash tone of voice to me." And then Bill decided he would...
How long did this fight take?
There was quite the build-up, let me tell you. So about 3 hours later, the manager is asking us to leave.
Yeah.
At which point, as gentlemen, we went outside, where I proceeded to withdraw my switchblade.
Whoa. That's an escalation.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Dick Fantastic and his magic switchblade.
If only.
So who haven't you fought in the PBS arena? Captain Kangaroo?
Fought him.
Mr. Rogers?
Fought him.
Who's the little Cheryl with the puppet, Mrs. Sheep person?
Have you fought all the hosts of the NewsHour?
Oh, yes. Gwen Eiffel bears my scars.
That's actually, and you're here to plug your new book, Gwen Eiffel Bears My Scars.
Yes.
By Dick Fantastic.
And I thought it was quite big of her to write the foreword for that book.
So you didn't completely burn that bridge there.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a lovely woman.
I don't mean to bring bad news to the podcast. She passed away earlier this year.
What?
Oh, we just breaking this news to you?
I'm sorry. I've been living in seclusion since the 9/12 episode.
Are you crying?
I do feel a little overcome.
She left us a note.
Can we get you?
And Dr. John will read it to you right now.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I book these appearances so far in advance.
Let me go ahead and...
It's hard to read. Her handwriting was awful, but she was a wonderful person.
I'll read it in her voice.
Please do.
I've never heard her talk, so... Dear Dick, if you're receiving this letter, it means that I have passed. I remember when you fought me with your magical switchblade. I remember when you penetrated me with its magical thorns. It was so deep, deep inside me.
Yes.
I long for that magical switchblade to once again penetrate me. Please, Dick, carry on. If you ever find yourself talking about 9/11 in an awkward way again, please think of me and driving that switchblade through my bosom. I love you. You were my one, my only, my Dick Fantastic.
I've kept an episode of the NewsHour on my DVR since she died, and I'm going to delete it tonight because, John T., you nailed that.
Yeah? Was she British?
She was so British.
Dick.
Dr. John, I want to thank you for sharing that with me. That it's like...
Sounds like you guys had a relationship.
We did.
Oh, wait. Speaking of relationships.
Oh, we got to get to our main topic. Yeah, shrimp boating.
Here we are carrying on.
Yeah. So there's I have a chart. I have a flow chart. So it goes, those flow charts where it's like, should I shrimp boat? So it's yes and no.
Okay.
So the first question is are you wearing
This is bad timing. But
Yeah.
Speaking of flowcharts, as the avid fan that I am of the magical
Subway?
Subway, I flowcharted every character relationship.
Holy shit!
Have you?
Like a lot of people do fan fiction.
Yeah.
I'm all about fan fact. Like what happened in every episode, and I intermingled them all.
Yeah.
And I'd like to present it to you to take back with you. I made it for you.
Oh, that would be lovely.
What's the weirdest thing you got from a fan, by the way? This seems pretty fucking weird,
I'm
but
handing it to him now.
well, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's actually just a flow chart. I mean, it's
Just
very
a flow
nice.
chart. I put 25 years in that flow chart.
Oh, Delilah, it's very nice. I mean, I don't mean to.
You had a lot of complicated character relationships, and I
know.
I'm pretty damn good with Microsoft Visio. I managed to get them all on there.
The most complicated part I'm sure you found was, as we would travel through time in our time traveling subway.
So many timelines.
We would, well, yes. I mean, obviously, we did make alternate realities as we changed the past, but
Well, in 1987, I put a request in with Microsoft to add a dimension icon to Visio, and then I just waited for 8 years, and they added it, and you'll see it's used prominently throughout.
God.
oh, I see that.
Yeah.
It's quite lovely, but. I mean, as you know, as we travel through time, we take most of these historical characters with us. I mean, as you may recall, through the 5th and 6th season, Hitler was featured quite prominently on the school bus.
Right there.
Yes, I see that. And, him and Genghis Khan would get up to such shenanigans. And
That's Genghis right there.
yeah,
God, it's color-coded.
along with, Abraham Lincoln when we brought him to the future.
Yeah, why'd you make him a bad guy? That was an interesting choice.
Well, I mean, we just figured.
Your critics say it might have been racist.
No.
Not me. I'm no critic.
No, I'm not a critic, obviously.
Obviously,
I
I mean,
had Chup tattooed on my dick.
I think if you're a fan of the show, and if
Yeah.
you're any sort of scholar of children's public broadcasting television, you would know there was no ill intent and there was no racism involved.
no.
But,
No.
when you look at a man like Abraham Lincoln,
It's like
you
grow a fucking mustache.
yes, I mean, you see a man with a scraggly beard and a
What are you,
a tall
Amish?
hat, yes, and he's always wearing those dark clothes.
Oh, God.
He's sitting in front of you at the theater and you can't see a fucking thing.
Yes, it's like you just look at this man, and if you didn't know his backstory,
Yeah.
if you just saw him on a wall, let's say,
Right.
you'd assume he was the villain of that wall. So we tried to play with that idea. I mean, we didn't keep the character for long. We got rid of him. We recast him, and we tried to make sense of what we had done. But
That was actually Daniel Day-Lewis's first role, the first time as
Yes.
Abraham Lincoln.
As a 7-year-old.
As a 7-year-old Daniel Day-Lewis.
and it was interesting. It was really interesting to see what
Back then he was Danny.
Danny.
Danny Day-Lewis.
Danny Louie.
It was very interesting to see what Steven Spielberg went on to do with him. In the film Lincoln.
Yeah.
This brings up. I mean, I might add that it's not an interesting story, and I don't want to spend much time on it.
Oh,
but
no.
I did fight Spielberg.
Well, speaking of not spending much time on it, we haven't spent much time on our main topic.
Oh, yeah. Today's topic of the day is shrimp boating, and unfortunately, I'm looking at the clock, and we're all out of time. So we got to save it for next episode, I guess. But thank you so much.
I got an idea.
Yeah.
Next time,
Yeah.
let's all order shrimp fried rice, and that will remind us to stay on topic.
for shrimp boating.
The thing about shrimp boating that I
Yeah.
find most fascinating.
Yes.
Boats aren't too unlike a plane, and I think that's what I was trying to go with on the 9/12 episode.
Okay, yeah, that's it. But for your own benefit, let's just leave it there.
Let's
but
just
thank
have
you.
an episode where we focus strictly on.
Yeah.
That'll be the topic of the day. We'll go non-sexual.
I'll keep that on the back burner. But thank you so much for being our guest today. We are both huge fans, Mr. Dick Fantastic of Mr. Dick Fantastic's Magical Subway. Thank you for tuning into the Sexperts. As always, I am your host, Dr. John T. Alanese, CPM.
And I am Delilah Haydare, and shoot me a text if you want a mango.
See you sex time.
Thank you.